it's Emma from Body Love HQ. I hope you're really well. So this week, every night this week, so Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night and Friday night, I'm going to go live at 7:30 WA time. Wednesday night will be a bit later actually because I teach yoga until 7:30, but you know, around 7:30 I'll go live answering your body love questions because I'm really I just can't talk enough about how passionate I am about body love, particularly because I know so many women hold themselves back from living the life that they could really truly enjoy because they don't feel great about the way they look. And so there's lots and lots of ways that that manifests in their life and stops them from living the life that they were perhaps meant to live. And I think about sometimes, I always think about Oprah, right? I think if we all held ourselves back all the time because of the way we look, one of us might be the next Oprah. And I think about Oprah because she used to go on those crazy diets, and there was those episodes where she got really, really, really skinny, and that was such an amazing thing for her. But I've noticed now that she doesn't put so much emphasis on the way she looks, that she's really opened up over the last 10, 15 years as a really soulful, life-changing woman. Like back in the day when she was losing lots of weight, she was often had those really trashy kind of episodes, with the really trashy kind of people on there. Whereas nowadays she's really just stepped into her own power, because what happens is when we're not obsessed with the way we look and our weight and all that sort of stuff, and we start to realize that's not that important, we free up our mind for so much more interesting, important stuff. And that's a bit about what I want to talk about tonight. So I have a new program starting next week, which is the Body Love Method online program. So basically it's a 7-week course where I'm teaching the Body Love Method. And a few weeks ago, I asked the people on my email list if they had any questions or things that they would like covered in a course about body love. And so this week I thought I would answer some of those questions that some people emailed me back with. And the question that I want to answer tonight is, how after 20 years of self-loathing do you love your body? And why is it so important when you've become so used to this way of life and you're okay with it? So I actually want to answer the second part of that question first, which is the why. Why is it so important? And the first thing that springs to mind is the statistic that 67% of women hold themselves back from life-engaging activities because of the way they look. And so I guess that relates to what I was just talking about with Oprah, right? When we're obsessed with the way we look, we don't put our true selves out there, and we don't try things because we're worried about the way we look. So I think about things like going for a job promotion, or even going for a job in the first place, or say family time at the beach. You might not go to the beach or get involved as much as you might like to because you're worried about the way you look in a pair of bathers. Or what about having family photos taken? So many women I know will not go in photos because they're worried about the way they look. And my gosh, you're actually making it hard for your kids because they want to see you in photos. They want to see you involved. Things like missing meals. So they might be going out for a dinner, but they don't eat all the food because they're worried about eating too much. Or they don't go to exercise classes or try things that are really good for them because, again, they're worried about the way they look. And this is really, really not a great thing. The reason why this isn't good is because people might have talents and they might have things that they need to share with the world that they're not doing because of the way they look. So it's not a great thing when 67% of women are holding themselves back. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that when we have a deep sense of self-loathing, it actually affects other areas of your life. So in particular, it affects your relationships because you're not going to stand up for yourself if you have these strong feelings of self-loathing. And you're not going to ask for what you want or for what you need. And one of the things that is really common is actually in terms of your health. You might not ask your doctor for what you need, or you might not get listened to because you're not standing up for yourself. So something like that is really, really common. I've heard of women sadly dying of cancer because they're not standing up for themselves and saying over and over again, this isn't right, and they're not getting listened to. So not to victim blame, but if you can let go of these feelings of not being good enough because of the way you look, you can let go of the self-loathing, you're going to stand up for yourself more, which is really, really important. Also, women do too much. So body love is not just about physically how we look, but it's how we treat ourselves and how much we put up with and how exhausted we are all the time. So a lot of women do way too much, okay? They don't say no enough, and they end up in this extreme state of exhaustion. And one of my favorite mentors, Dr. Libby Weaver, she actually says that we say yes to too many things because we're worried about not being liked, right? So we're actually exhausting ourselves because we're scared that people won't like us or won't love us anymore. And again, that all comes from self-loathing. If we have proper self-esteem and we really love ourselves, not just the way we look, but ourselves, what's inside, we're going to stand up for ourselves. We're going to say no when we need to, and we're going to say yes when it's right for us. And that's so important because that's sustainable, right? If we are really holding ourselves up too much and we're doing too much and we end up falling apart, that's actually not good for anybody. So body love's not just looking after our physical bodies, but it's looking after our mental bodies, but body, mind and spirit. So that's really, really important. And that's another reason why it's important to love yourself, even if you've gotten used to self-loathing. Another reason why it's really, really important is I think back to the days when I used to get really obsessed with my weight and the size of clothing and all that sort of stuff. And my day was spent thinking about that constantly. From the minute I woke up, I'm not going to eat chocolate today. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to go to the gym enough. And I was thinking about this constantly. We're a lot more than I should have. And now that I do love my body, my brain is freed up to think about other things. So thinking about creating a business and teaching classes and helping people, I've got more brain space for that. And that's way more important than the size of my jeans or how many calories I've eaten today. The other thing that I'm very, very passionate about is actually having set a really good example for the next generation. So I'm sure that part of my body image issues and part of my not being able to say no is because that was the way I was raised. So nothing against my mum. I think she was raised in the same way. But if we continue to be self-loathing and say terrible things about ourselves out loud, and we say yes to too many things, we're actually showing the next generation that that's okay. And is that what you want for your kids, especially your girls? Do you want your girls to exhaust themselves when they're adults? Do you want them to hate themselves because they don't look perfect in a bathing suit? No, you don't. So it's up to you to show them what it's like to love yourself. They're only going to learn it from this generation. So that's another reason why it's important to learn to love yourself. And I guess the last thing I want to talk about is until you learn how to love yourself, you don't know how much better it can be. So this is a really good example of when I had stage 4 endometriosis. After my very first surgery, like a few weeks later, once I'd recovered from the actual surgery, I remember walking to the local shops, which I used to do all the time, and I used to be in agony. But I remember walking there and going, I used to be in pain all the time, like all the time. And I only ever noticed the pain when it was an excruciating level, but actually I was in pain all of the time. And now that I also love my body and love myself no matter what size I am, I can see the difference in that too. So it's kind of like you don't realize how good life can get until you've actually made those changes and until you actually do love your body and get rid of the self-loathing and really, really respect yourself. So another reason to do this, to love yourself, is because you actually don't know how good life can get. So the first part of the question was, how do you love yourself? If you've been living in self-loathing for 20 years, what do you do to start to love yourself? And there's actually lots of things you can do, and there's lots of things that are proven scientifically that can really help you. So things like meditation, self-compassion meditation has been proven to help boost self-esteem, help to boost body image. Same with yoga, actually. Yoga is proven to help boost self-esteem as well. Techniques like forgiveness, which is a practice of letting go of the past, that can be hugely beneficial both for your physical body but also your mental health as well. Things like journaling has also been proven to help your immunity and help to boost your confidence. So it helps you both on a mental level as well as a physical level. And even things like energy clearing, like Reiki and the chakras and all those kind of things have been proven to help boost self-esteem, help to clear out old programming, self-loathing, and help you to feel better about yourself. And these are some of the things that are included in the Body Love method that I have created, and that's what we'll be making up the 7-week course. So over the 7 weeks, you'll learn lots of different techniques that will suit you, so you'll find your own way of loving your body, which is really, really important as well. The other thing that I love about the program that's starting next week is that when you surround yourself with people who love their bodies, who aren't falling into self-loathing, who actually love their lives, that actually becomes really, really magnetic. So the more people that you hang around with that have that high self-esteem, that respect themselves no matter their size, the more likely you're going to be able to stick with that yourself. And so that's what the program is going to do. You'll be surrounded by other women who feel great about themselves, who are trying to ditch the self-loathing and start to love themselves. So that's answering that question that I had, was how after 20 years of self-loathing, do you love your body? And why is it so important when you've become used to the way life is and you're okay with it? So if you've got any other questions about body love, pop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I would love to see anyone that's sort of resonated with what I've been talking about tonight to join the program, because the program is a lifetime access. I'm researching body love constantly, so when I find new methods and new techniques, they're going to be added into the method. And if you get the full access program, which there's 2 levels of the program, there will be things like Reiki, distance Reiki healings and yoga classes and other things that will sort of benefit you besides learning the Body Love method and learning the techniques. So that's a little bit about the program. I'll be talking about it all this week, but if you've got any Body Love questions, please pop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as the week progresses. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 7:30 WA time as well. See ya.